Make the mini studio for chump change.
If you haven't already, first view the video, The Mini Studio Introduction and Material Details. We're going to begin construction with two 12-inch long wood pieces that will form what we'll call the support beam. Measure down 2 1/8 inches and back 3/8 of an inch. Clamp the two wood pieces together and drill a 3/16 inch diameter hole through both pieces. Next, install a 5/16 inch bit. Place one of the wood pieces aside and enlarge the hole in the other piece. Now when we install the 1/4 inch wing screw, it will move freely through the 5/16 inch hole, but not the 3/16 inch hole. Align the two pieces together, slide the wing screw through the larger hole and bear down on the wing screw as you thread it all the way through into the smaller hole. The metal screw will act like a tap, cutting threads into the wood. Loosen the wing screw enough to slide a dime spacer between the two pieces, then tighten it slightly to keep the dime in place. Measure down 1 1/4 inches and back 3/4 inches and mark. Drill a through hole with a 5/8 inch Forstner or spade bit. When done, notice the hole is fully circular, but when you remove the dime and retighten the wing screw, the hole will become oblong and will make a snug fit around the mic stand. Now measure and mark down 2 3/4 inches from the back of the support beam. Place the 18-inch long wood piece, which we'll call the filter beam, on that mark and trace around it with a pencil. Next, mark 5 inches from the back and 1 inch down from the front. Between these two marks, draw two perpendicular lines 1/8 inch from the center, forming a 6-inch long by 1/4 inch wide square slot that will receive the wing screw. Now proceed to your bench saw. Flip the two support beam pieces as shown and set the height of the saw blade to match the height of the box we drew for the filter beam. Nibble out the wood to create a rectangular slot. Reset the blade height to match the height of the box for the wing screw. Nibble out all this wood to create another rectangular slot. Note how the wing screw slides easily back and forth in this slot. Cut a 6-inch long piece from the 5/8 inch dowel. We'll call this the mic beam. Drill a 3/16 diameter hole about 2 inches into the end of the mic beam, centered on its diameters. As before, thread the remaining 1/4 inch wing screw into this hole to create threads in the wood. Back at the bench saw, set your fence to 12 inches and cut a piece of the rigid insulation which we'll call the inside section. Cut another identical piece which we'll call the outside section. Put the outside section aside for now. Tip the saw blade to 7½ degrees, set the fence to 9 inches, and cut one end of the inside section. Now tip the saw blade further to 15 degrees. Place the 7½ degree end against the fence and cut the other end. When you're done, you'll have a panel that looks like this: 7½ degrees on one end and 15 degrees on the other. Use what's left of the inside section to make another piece. Then use the outside section to make two more pieces, but this time 9 3/4 inches wide. When you're done, you'll have 4 filter base panels. Take the two 9-inch filter base panels and butt the two 7½ degree ends together. Apply spray adhesive on these two mating surfaces and let set according to the instructions on the can, usually 1 minute or more. When set, place the two mating surfaces next to each other and then bring them together, pressing as you do. We've just created the inside section of the filter base. Take one of the two remaining sections and spray adhesive on its mating surface, not its end, and on one of the ends of the inside section. After the glue has set, Press these two mating surfaces together. Repeat this with the remaining section and the remaining end of the inside section. With these actions, we've created the filter base that we'll later glue the acoustic foam tiles onto. Now we'll mark a line on the filter beam 7 inches up from one end. Then we'll mark for 2 holes on the center back of the filter base. One hole 2 inches up from one end, and the other hole 10 inches up from that same end. Then we'll drill through these marks with a 3/16 inch drill bit. After changing the bit in your drill to 1/8 inch diameter, center the filter beam under the holes on your line you marked previously. Drill through the top hole of the filter base and the filter beam. Install one of the 1032 by 1 1/4 inch machine screws. Then drill through the bottom hole and install another 1032 screw. Now drill a 1/8 inch hole through both members of the support beam, 1/2 inch back from the front end. Change the bit to a 3/16 inch diameter, spread the two pieces apart, and drill through only one of the pieces. Install the remaining 1032 screw to ensure the support beam can spread apart when you install the 1/4 inch wing screw in the large rectangular slot. Place the remaining wing screw through the larger rectangular slot and install the mic beam. To install the mini studio on your mic stand, loosen the rear wing screw on the support beam. Spread the support beam pieces apart and slide its 5/8 inch hole around the mic stand. Slide the free end of the filter beam back into the support beam and tighten the wing screw. Now we're ready to complete the mini studio. As you can see, we've painted most of the mini studio black. We'll now install 3 squares of acoustic foam using more spray adhesive. For each square, spray both the back of the square and the mating surface on the filter base. Install the first square starting on the left of the filter base. Butt the next square to the first and install it. Because of the sticky nature of the adhesive, it would be hard to position the remaining square just right. So cut it into 2 pieces using an electric knife, which works great on foam. Install the smaller piece on the filter base's back and the larger piece on the right side. Note that the last piece you installed hangs over a bit. Use the electric knife to trim that piece. Just like you did with the wing screws to create threads in the mating wood, thread your mic holder onto the mic beam and install your mic. That completes construction of the mini studio. Looks good, doesn't it?
Make the mini studio for chump change. Get a new mic, just rearrange. Bring it on down, bring it on up. Move it on back, bring it up front. Cancels out reflections, to the foam they go. Makes you sound like you're in a pro studio. Mini studio.